Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
So I'm heard.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
ठीक है, everything is okay, huh? So we can start. गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। पूकन नहीं ये गदी चलो काम चला। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Dear devotees,
Recording in progress.
you are welcome for continuity of Bhakti Vedanta study of 10th canto Srimad Bhagvatam. We are discussing chapter 7. In this chapter we have yesterday covered Uthan ceremony festival, and in that festival there was one demon delivered by Krishna, and the commonly known name of the demon is Saktasur. And this demon by name Utkach was sent by Krishna. He has aerial body like a ghost, and Krishna delivered him. And this section we are discussing from verse number 4 to 17, killing of Saktasur. And in this section now we are discussing something. Yesterday we discussed 3 verses, 13, 14, 15. And in these verses first 3 verses are explained together. Asuya, these are the typical type of Brahmans, qualification of Brahmans. And Srila Prabhupada has a very wonderful purport in this section. I think we should continue verse number 16. Gava sarva gunopeta vasa sarkar kama malinahi atmaha abhya udyarthaya. Atmaja means Krishna, son, born from one's body. Atma means oneself, ja means born. Abhyudya artha means for the, Srila Prabhupada writes for the being qualified, for the purpose of his son's affluence, prosperity, health, everything. Pradate chanya yunjita. So Nanda Maharaj, for the sake of affluence of his own son Krishna, gave the Brahmanas cows fully decorated with garments, flower garlands, and gold necklaces. This cow fully equipped to give ample milk. When given to the Brahman in charity, and the Brahman accepted them and bestowed blessing upon the whole family and especially upon Krishna. Srila Prabhupada writes, Nanda Maharaj first fed the Brahman sumptuously. Yesterday there was word was Gunan, Anna Gunan, the best, fragrant, sumptuous, rich prasad was fed to the Brahmins and then gave them charity. First class cows, fully decorated with golden necklace, garment and flower garlands. He gave, but the Brahman also accepted. That's most important. Brahman accepted those cows. That is important. You may give, but somebody may not accept. Then your charity is not worth. The cows are described half the verse. He gave cows in order to produce prosperity for his son after destroying all disturbances. But this was only a symptom of his affection for his son, which was the goal in life. After taking their meal, Anu, the Brahmanas gave blessings since feeding them would naturally follow, though it is not mentioned explicitly in this verse. Nanda Maharaj gave the best fully ornamented and cows that have abundant milk and were young as gift for his son's bodily health, adhbhut, and Dharma, Arth, etc. for wealth, adhbhut. Actual Krishna himself is all Purusharth. Thus, out of affection, Nanda Maharaj performed these actions. After eating Anu, the Brahman accepted gifts. Verse number 17. Vipra mantra vido yuktas taira yaha proktas tatha ashisha tam nishphala bhavishyanti na kadachanapi sputam. The Brahmins, who were completely expert in chanting the Vedic hymns, were all yogis, fully equipped with mystic power. Whatever blessing they spoke were certainly never fruitless. Srila Prabhupada writes, Brahmins fully equipped with the Brahmanical qualification are always yogis, fully powerful in mystic yoga. Their words never fail. In every transaction with other members of the society, Brahmins are certainly dependable. In this age, however, one must take into account that Brahmins are uncertain in their qualification. Because they are no yagnik Brahmins, means they are not performing yagya. All the yagnas are forbidden in Kali Yuga because this was in Treta Yuga. The only yagya recommended in this age is Sankirtan Yagya. Yagnai Sankirtan Prahi Yajanti Sumedhasa. Yagna is meant to satisfy Vishnu. Yagna Artha Karmano Anyatha Loko Ayam Karma Bandhana. Because in this age there are no qualified Brahmins, people should perform yagna by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mantra, Yagna Sankirtan. The life is meant for yagna, and yagna is performed by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the Brahmins are described here as yukta. Yukta and yoga are one and same thing, which means they were great yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham madmate antratma, that is the yuktatma. Yogina, and thus whatever blessing they gave would come true. What they said as blessing become true. This illustrates that those who respect Brahman have their blessing fulfilled. Who were these Brahmanas? They knew the meaning of the Veda. Vida means knowing. Veda means knowledge. They have knowledge of the Vedas. Another version has mantra Vida, knower of the mantra. That is an indication of one of their many qualities. They were devotees of the Lord, yuktaha. Since the Veda indicate prem, now this is very important statement. Veda indicate prem. And here is a verse. Bhagavan Brahma Katsne Kartasne Naha Trai Anaviksha Manishya Tada Adhavasyatah Kutisto Ratiratma Yato Bhave. The word Rati, the unchanging Lord, reviewed 3 times the Vedas completely with his intelligence and determined that the process which produced prem in the self. So purpose of the Vedic knowledge is love of God. Srimad Bhagvatam 2:34. And Bhagavad Gita also says, Yoginam Shardhavan Bhajatayo Same Yuktatmo Mataha. The word Yukta is explained. He who worship me with faith is the greatest devotee, Yuktatmaha. Thus, when they gave blessing, the result was certain. Following the desires of Brahmanas, those blessings would be manifested in Krishna at the appropriate time. Now the next section 18 to 30. These 12 verses, killing of the demon Tiranavarth. I think there is a section, there is a one Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary about the demons in Krishna Leela, and they represent some anartha, and devotee has such type of anartha which are like these demons, and Krishna by his mercy can deliver them. So that one day we may be referring to all the demons represent which aparadha or which fault. I think Putana we discussed 2 words. One is avidya or ignorance, and the other was which Bhaktivinoda Thakur says false guru, cheating guru, saying we are giving you nectar but they give the poison, which means VIHE. VIHE means sense gratification. So now verse number 18. Ekada. Ekada means once upon a time. And what is that time? When Krishna was 1 year old. Aroham Arudham Lalayanti Sutam Sati Garimanam Shisho Vodum Na Sehe Gri Kutavata. One day, a year after Krishna's appearance, Mother Yashoda was petting her son on her lap. But suddenly, she felt the child to be heavier than a mountain peak, and she could no longer bear his weight. Srila Prabhupada is giving purport on the word lalayanti. Sometime a mother lifts her child, and when the child falls in her hands, the child laughs, and mother also enjoys pleasure. Yashoda used to do this, but this time Krishna became very heavy, and she could not bear his weight. Under the circumstances, it is to be understood that Krishna was aware of coming of Tiranavarta Asur, who could take him far away from his mother. Krishna knew that when Tiranavarta came and took him away from his mother's lap, Mother Yashoda would be greatly bereaved. He did not want his mother to suffer any difficulty from the demon. Therefore, because he is the source of everything, Janmadi Asya Yata, he assumed the heaviness of the entire universe. The child was on the lap of Yashoda, who was therefore in possession of everything in the world. But when the child assumed such heaviness, she had to put him down in order to give Tiranavarta an opportunity to take him away and play with him for some time before the child returned to the lap of his mother. What use are all these things for me, the Lord of all wealth? This event took place when Krishna was 1 year old. Bhagvatam 10:26 says, Eka hayena asino hariyamano vihayasya daityasya trinavartam. The demon Trinavarta took away Krishna when Krishna was 1 year old. Yashoda felt great bliss by placing Krishna on her lap and lifting him up in the air with her two hands. Suddenly Krishna became heavy as a mountain top, and Yashoda could no longer hold him. Krishna knew that Trinavarta wanted to kidnap Yashoda along with himself. Therefore Krishna displayed his Aishwarya Shakti, opulence, in order to prevent any pain coming to Yashoda, becoming heavier than the heaviest. Krishna forced Yashoda to place him on the ground. Yashoda can only lift me a little, but I want to play in the sky. What now the Chakravarti Padre, oh, Yashoda is just throwing me a little bit up and then catching, but I want to go up in the sky and enjoy. So, desiring like this, Krishna let the Asura take him away. While living in Virja, I do not deserve to be covered up or restricted at all, Krishna is thinking. Thinking in this way, Krishna desired to go into the sky. When he was 1 year old, this event occurred, since it will be said later. This is the verse. Yashoda cared for him, kissing him, giving him her breast. Sometimes she lifted him in her arms playfully. She was knowledgeable, Sati, of how to care for him. She was not able to carry him by her own strength. She was alone at that time. Later a similar condition is described. Ekdagra Das is when Yashoda was alone when churning the butter in Damodar Leela. So Bradha Vaishnava Toshni says, though Krishna, who reveals all times his unlimited nature as Bhagavan, has other attractive pastimes during this period, which are well known to the people of Mathura, such as defeating the demon disguised as Brahman named Sridhar. I don't know where is this story. These pastimes are not related, since they are not well known. Or Sukdev could not tell all these unlimited pastimes in short 7 days that Parikshit had left for his life. Children generally begin to walk when they are 1 year old, if they are strong. Before clearing one astonishing pastime mentioned, or Sukdev simply relates pastime with increasing sweetness. Sometimes there is a deviation from this on consideration of chronology. Generally, the events related are not strictly chronological. That will be seen in various places. Since she always carried him with affection, why he had become so heavy at this time? Or though he is by nature heavier than countless universes, for the devotee he is light. In order to kill Trinavarta, he manifested greater heaviness so that she would take him from her lap, or the Yashoda's power to carry him disappeared. Verse number 19. Feeling the child to be heavy as the entire universe, and therefore being anxious, thinking that perhaps the child was being attacked by some other ghost or demon, the astonished mother Yashoda put the child down on the ground, began to think of Narayan. This verse is very good here. Mahapurusha. She was thinking of Mahapurusha. Dhyao means meditating. Jagatam asakaramasu. So began to think of Narayan, forcing disturbance. She called for the Brahmins to counteract this heaviness, and then she engaged in her other household affairs. She had no alternative then to remember the lotus feet of Narayan, for she could not understand that Krishna was the original source of everything. Chakravarti Pad writes, Mother Yashoda did not understand. Srila Prabhupada writes, Mother Yashoda did not understand that Krishna is the heaviest of all heavy things, and that Krishna rests within him everything. And then this is a philosophy. Madhistani Sarvabhautani. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatamidam sarvan jagat avyakta murtina. Krishna is everything in his impersonal form, everything rests upon him. Nonetheless, nachaham teshu avastitaha. Krishna is not everywhere. Mother Yashoda was unable to understand this philosophy because she was dealing with Krishna as his real mother by the attachment of Yogamaya, by the arrangement of Yogamaya. Not understanding the importance of Krishna, she could only seek shelter of Narayan for Krishna's safety and call Brahmins to counteract this situation. Chakravarti Pad writes, being disturbed, Yashoda put Krishna on ground as she wondered how her son had suddenly become so heavy. Maybe some demon has done this. Fearing this, Yashoda took shelter of Narayan, the Lord of the universe. Yashoda glanced upward to the Vaikuntha and in meditation said, O Lord, you have given this son, so now you must protect him. This is then, in great anxiety, Yashoda went out to call some Brahmins to perform swasti karmaha, ceremonies for good fortune. Jiva Goswami writes, he was the Lord of the universe, Mahapurusha. So Krishna is the Lord of universe, Mahapurusha. Yashoda's performance of auspicious rites was caused by the parental affection. O Lord, what can you give to the people of Virja? This is Brahma saying, whose houses, possession, friends, dear ones, bodies, sons, life, air, and hearts are dedicated only to you. Since there is nothing superior to you, or Braj, which you have already given. Thinking of this, my mind became bewildered. You awarded yourself even to Putana and her family members, because she wore the disguise of a nurse. Though Putana's actions were inspired by Kansa, who wanted Krishna dead, Krishna responded to her actions with mercy. How much more he responded to Yashoda's action. The meaning of Sridhar Swami's commentary is that Krishna made himself heavy so that Yashoda could put him down. Thus, he avoided giving her injury. That is the main idea. The word mrityu in this commentary means commentary of the Sridhar Swami, cannot mean death but only injury, since Yashoda cannot die. He explained that she was pained by the weight of the universe within his belly, since he possesses all powers. This power of containing the universe within himself is also established in the Damodar pastime. Though he was tied up eventually, she placed him on the ground, fearing that the bed could not bear the weight. She could not bear the weight because of his manifestation of power. She surrendered to the Lord of the universe, Jagatam Mahapurusham, and engaged in auspicious rites such as Swastyayanam out of affection for his ones alone. For it is said, Yatadhama artha soirta priyatam tanyaha prana asyas tvatta krite. So what is left for you to give these devotees of Vrindavan, whose homes, wealth, friends, dear relations, bodies, children, every lives and hearts are all dedicated only to you, Srimad Bhagvatam. Okay, next verse. Verse 20. Daityo namana trina vartaha kansaha bhrityah pranoditaha Chakravataha swarupena. Chakravat swarupena means like a whirlwind. Jahara asinam arbhakam. While the child was sitting on the ground, a demon named Trinavarta, who was a servant of Kansas, came there as a whirlwind at Kansa's instigation and very easily carried the child away into the air. Krishna's heaviness was unbearable for the child's mother, but when Trinavarta came, he immediately carried the child away. This was another demonstration of Krishna's inconceivable energy. When the Trinavarta demon came, Krishna became lighter than the grass, so that the demon could carry him away. Trinavarta, actually, Trina means a leaf, a grass, some straw, and avarta means he can take him away in the sky. That is the meaning of Trinavarta. Trina, Trinadapi Sunicha, same Trina. This was Anand Chinmaya Ras. Prabhupada writes, this Krishna's becoming light is Anand Chinmaya Ras, Krishna's blissful transcendent pleasure. Just at that time, Trinavarta came, they stole the child. By the influence of the Aishwarya Shakti, Krishna becomes so light that Trinavarta could lift him. So this is another Krishna's Aishwarya Shakti. Two verses describe the demon. As whirlwind demon, he was naturally destructive, very powerful, and without countermeasures. Since he was a servant of Kansa, he was most inimical. He was instigated to come by Kansa. Previously, he sent with an ordinary form Putna as a baby killer. Kansa said. Kansa became worried when she was killed, even though she disguised herself. He then sent Sakta, who did not appear with any form. So first with form, Putna, now without form, Saktasur. When he was killed, Kans became greatly frightened. He then sent the whirlwind demon, who was with form and without form, very strong and impossible to grasp. But later Krishna squeezed his throat and choked him. Krishna was sitting down, but within the sight of Yashoda. For on seeing the demon, she became astonished and full of lamentation. Krishna appeared to be a small child, Arbhakam, but was hiding his great powers. Meaning of Trinavarta given by Sanatana Goswami. Trinavarta means he who turns the world upside down like grass, or he who by his speedy force makes grass whirl about. This indicates that he was very strong. Since he was Kansa's servant, he was very evil. He was instigated by Kansa. Kansa previously gave him instruction, or he was sent at this time to do violence after the news of Putna's killing was heard. Krishna was seated, pleasing his mother, who feared he would go somewhere, or he was seated, appearing as a small child, hiding his powers, in order that Trinavarta could take him fearlessly. Gokulam sarvavarnam mushnang sa chakshushansi renubi hiranyam sumoha ghora shabdena prasiddho disha. Covering the whole land of Gokul with particles of dust, the demon, acting as the strong whirlwind, covered everyone's vision and began vibrating everywhere with a greatly fearful sound. Trinavartasur assumed the form of whirlwind and, covered with dust, stormed the whole tract of land known as Gokul, so that no one could see even the nearest thing. Also there was tumultuous sound, reverberated, Aryan, in all directions. verse number 22. For a moment, muhurtam abhavat. The whole pasturing ground was overcast with the dense darkness from the dust storm. And Mother Yashoda was unable to find her son where she had placed him. Yashoda did not see baby Krishna there, Tasmin, where she had left him, Nyaswati. The place was covered with dust, Rajasa, and consequent darkness, Tamasa, so that the Lord could not be seen. This is comparable to an analogy. Yogi's heart covered with Rajas and Tamas. By taking second meaning of Rajas and Tamas, Raja means dust and Raja also means mode of passion. And Tama means darkness, which means mode of ignorance. When it is pure, he can see the Lord. And when covered by ignorance and passion, he cannot see the Lord. This is yogi. She places her son by her side, Tasmin, but could not see him because the place was covered with dust. Because of the bits of the sand thrown about by Trinavarth, people could not see themselves or anyone else, and thus they were illusioned and disturbed. The residents could not see themselves or others. The word cha indicates that they could not also hear each other. They could not search. So why this is done? Because Krishna wanted nobody should see or hear when he is enjoying the pastime of having a sky riding. Because of the disturbance caused by the demon, no one there knew anything. They could see themselves, they could see themselves or others, and they could not even hear anything. Or they could not see themselves or the Lord, Param. They could not search at all, Vimohita, because of sand thrown by Trinavarth. This happens because Krishna wants to go up in the sky. Now, next, because the dust storm is stirred up by the strong whirlwind, Mother Yashoda could find no traces of her son, nor could she understand why. Thus she fell down on the ground like a cow who has lost her calf and began to lament very pitifully. Chakravarti Pad writes, Yashoda could not see her child, Avilaksha, because of the thick layer of dust showering down from the whirlwind demon. By his power, Krishna made himself invisible to all. Who did this? By his power, Krishna made himself invisible to all. Though she was enlightened by the Lord through his Leela Shakti and her motherly affection, overcome with pain on not seeing her son and unable to search for him at all, she began to lament. Because of the dust and the strong whirlwind and harsh wind, she could not understand the path of her son. When he was taken by the demon, she was completely incapable, Abala, of searching. She just fell on the ground. She lamented pitifully, such that even stones and wood would break. Or first she lamented since that was natural, and then she fell on the ground, since she felt great pain from not being able to find him because of her great affection. An example is given, cow not seeing her calf fall into great disturbance and worry. Verse 25. When the force of the dust storm and the wind subsided, Yashoda's friends and the other gopis approached Mother Yashoda, hearing her pitiful crying. Not seeing Krishna present, they too felt very much aggrieved and joined Mother Yashoda in crying, their eyes full of tears. Srila Prabhupada writes, this attachment of the gopis to Krishna is wonderful and transcendental. The center of all the activities of the gopi was Krishna. When Krishna was there, they were happy. And when Krishna was not there, they were unhappy. Thus, when Mother Yashoda was lamenting Krishna's absence, the other ladies also began to cry. Okay. When the wind filled with dust ceased, the neighboring gopis, hearing repeatedly crying within the Yashoda's house, and going to the house and not seeing Krishna, become filled with sorrow and shedding tears, wept. Instead of Anutapa Dhiya, sometime Anurakta Dhiya, they were attached to Nanda and Yashoda is seen. The son of Nanda is mentioned. This indicates that following Nanda's lamentation, everyone lamented. In that place there was continuously full of bliss, Tatra. They heard Yashoda crying. Since the loud noise of the wind had stopped, they became greatly aggrieved and their eyes filled with tears. They went to the place where the Yashoda was crying when the wind ceased to shower dust. Not finding the son of Nanda who gave joy to Virj at the side of Yashoda, all gopis cried. Verse 26. Trinavatah shantarayo vataya rupadharo haram Krishnam nabho gata gantum na shaknoda bhuri bhara brita. Now having assumed the form of forceful whirlwind, the demon Trinavat took Krishna away very heavily in the sky. But when Krishna became heavier than the demon had to stop his force and could go no further. Now what was happening in the Gokul Yashoda, that part is explained. Now what is happening in the sky, that is describing in verse number 26. Here is the computation in the yogic power between Krishna and Trinavartasur. By practicing mystic yoga, Asur generally attains some perfection in the 8 siddhis, or perfections, namely Anima, Laghima, Mahima, Prapti, Prakamaya, Ishitva, Vashitva, Kama, Vasaita. But although the demon may acquire such powers to a very limited extent, he cannot compete with the mystic power of Krishna, for Krishna is Yogeshwara and the source of all mystic powers. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. No one can compete with Krishna. Sometime, of course, having acquired a fragmental portion of Krishna's mystic power, Asura demonstrated their power to foolish public and assert themselves to be God, are not knowing that God is the supreme Yogeshwar. Here also we see that Trinavat assumed the Mahima Siddhi. He took Krishna away as if Krishna were an ordinary child. But Krishna also became mystic Mahima Siddha. When Mother Yashoda was carrying him, he became so heavy that his mother, who was usually accustomed to carry him, could not bear him and had to place him down on the ground. Thus Trinavat had been able to take Krishna away in the presence of Mother Yashoda. But when Krishna, high in the sky, assumed the Mahima Siddhi, the demon, unable to go further, was obliged to stop his force and come down according to Krishna's desire. One should not therefore compete with Krishna's mystic power. Devotees automatically have all mystic powers. but they do not like to compete with Krishna. Instead, they fully surrender to Krishna, and their yogic power is demonstrated by Krishna's mercy. Devotees can show mystic power, yoga so powerful that a demon could not even dream of it, but they never try to demonstrate it for their personal sense gratification. Whatever they do is for the service of Lord, and therefore they are always in the position superior to that of demon. There are many karmis, yogis, jnanis who artificially try to compete with Krishna, and thus ordinary foolish people do not care to hear Srimad Bhagvatam from authorities. Consider some rascal yogi to be Bhagavan, the Supreme Person of God. At the present moment, there are many so-called Baba who present themselves as incarnation of God by showing some insignificant mystic wonder, and foolish people regard them as God because of lacking knowledge of Krishna. At first, Krishna was as light as a normal child, and Trinavat lifted him high in the sky. When Krishna became heavy, however, Trinavat slowed down. Within seconds, Trinavat could not carry Krishna any further, so he stopped moving. Because the people were crying in pain, Krishna decided to end this pastime of traveling in the air and decided to kill the demon. In the shape of a storm, the demon took Krishna in the air, and there, because Krishna manifested weight, the demon felt overburdened, bhuri bhar bharta. He was not able to go further. Shant Raya. Now, anybody has question or comment till this time? Particularly Prabhupada's purport about Mahima Siddhi, Anima, Mahima, Lagima. So Mahima.
Prabhuji, you live in Braja and in India and travel. These days, do you see people, who have siddhis, who like earlier they were, but these days do you see them and who pretend to be?
Some people do have in Himalayas some siddhis. They can show some. Somebody showed Prabhupada like that, and he asked Prabhupada, "What about this?" He said, "You are the greatest yogi because you can stop birth and death. What we can do, we are doing nothing. All these mystic siddhis are nothing." I think in Nectar of Devotion, we know these are mechanical things. Prabhupada is writing something in this purport. The devotees have all these siddhis. And somehow, this is my realization today, I'm feeling, all the time Prabhupada, when quote these 8 siddhis, he tell all these siddhis. Everywhere, in Nectar of Devotion, anywhere we said yoga and siddhis, he say all these siddhis. And then he says devotees have all these siddhis, but they never make show of those. Jamuna Devi has written that Prabhupada was walking in front of me and I could not see her foot on the ground. So I asked, "What is this?" Prabhupada says, "You will know in due course of time." Sometime in Jhansi, Prabhupada had some flower garland which was not ever seen on this planet. Somebody saw like that. So Mr. Sethi used to say, Prabhupada took all my pipe, which doctors have put this in, and then he said, "You are all right," and my disease is all gone. So sometimes, there are, one siddhi is called Vak siddhi, you do and that happens. Devotees have all these things automatically as a byproduct, but they never use them. So Prabhupada is writing, this is and no demon can compete with devotees in any siddhi, in any way. So many, this Vishwaken, a mystic calling himself God, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur has in the court exposed him. It is 100 say 100 years, 150 years back. Yeah, there are. I was reading some Arya Samaji sadhu went up in the Himalaya and he asked the sadhus, I heard that you fly in the sky. He said, yes. And then in front of him, he filled his whole body with the air and he became like a balloon and he just was in the sky and he was just roaming around up. And he saw that with his own eyes. And then when he has to come back out, down, then he has just released the air and then he come down. So there are yogis, they can do all this mystic perfection. This is possible, but they are all mechanical more or less. But I am astonished, Prabhupada says, but devotees have all these siddhis. But they are using only in Krishna's service. They are not using it for some show business. It happens sometimes. Some people say you something, you say, okay, Krishna will do it, and next time you go, they say, oh, please, last time you blessed me, it happened. We never remember that it happened like that. So many times people bring sweet, they say, you said this and this has happened. I say, we have such experience. Something we just laugh at that time. We don't remember actually, but people notice this. So devotees are not at all thinking of all these things. It's a joke. I think almost 40 years back. At that time I was in Pakistan, living there and preaching. There was one teacher. He used to come in satsang. He said, please, you bless, I should have a son. Anyway, I said, if Krishna willing, it will happen. Next time I went there, he brought a sweet box. He said, Prabhu, you bless, I had a son. I heard that his wife died. How can he have a son? I asked from somebody. He said, oh, he married a woman and son is with a woman. Because he was already over 70 years. So still I remember the joke. He came, says, I got a son. So this astonishing thing actually. Prabhupada's purport, you can read it again very with cool mind. Prabhupada saying, devotees have all these siddhis. We don't know, but they are there. Verse 27. Because of Krishna's weight, the Trinavat considered him to be like a great mountain. Krishna is like a mountain, or a hunk of iron, big. But because Krishna had caught the demon's neck, the demon was unable to throw him off. He therefore thought of the child as wonderful, since he could neither bear the child nor cast aside the burden. Because Krishna's weight, Atmano Guru Mataya, Guru means weight. Trinavat considered him to be like a great mountain or a hunk of iron. Tam Ashmanam Manyamana. Asman means stone. But because Krishna had caught the demon's neck, Gale Grahita. Gale means neck. Banamala, Gal Banamala. The demon was unable to throw him off. Uta Srishtum. Na Saknot. Na Saknot means not unable. He therefore thought of child as wonderful, since he could neither bear the child nor cast him out. Adhbhut Arbhakam. Adhbhut Arbhakam. Arbhakam means child, adhbhut means astonishing, wonderful. Srila Prabhupada writes, Trinavat intended to take Krishna up in the sky and kill him. But Krishna enjoyed the pastime of riding on Trinavat's body and traveling for a while in the sky. So like Kamsa is a maternal uncle of Krishna. He used to send some toys. This is a helicopter he sent this time. Earlier he sent some vehicle like a toy car, and Putana was like a doll. So for Krishna it's like that. Thus Trinavat attempted to kill Krishna failed, while Krishna, Anand Chinmay Ras Vigraha, enjoyed this pastime. Now since Trinavat was falling because of Krishna's heaviness, he wanted to save himself by throwing Krishna off from the neck of his neck, but was unable to do so because Krishna held him very tightly. Consequently, this would be the last time for Trinavart's yogic power. Now he was going to die by the arrangement of Krishna. After fulfilling his desire to fly in the sky and the desire of celestial ladies of the Swarg to see his incomparable beauty, Krishna prepared to kill Trinavarta. See, Prabhupada says Krishna has some desire to give pleasure to the heavenly celestial ladies. So therefore he wanted to fly in the sky. Krishna became so heavy that the demon felt he was carrying a mountain made of iron. Because Krishna was holding him by the neck, Trinavat could not throw him off the Lord. Playing the part of a small child, Krishna feigned fear of falling from that height, therefore clung to Trinavat's neck. It's just child. He said, I will fail, so I'm just holding on your neck. I'm not doing anything. The word asmavantam means a stone or a mountain, but drop the syllable va for meter according to the rule. Okay. Oh, Trinavar thought the Krishna as Safari mountain, not the son of Nanda. Not being able to take him away, he wanted to free himself from the child, but could not, because the child held on his neck. Thus, he considered the child extraordinary, beyond normal human capacity. Instead of asmatam, sometime asmanam. It is okay. Okay. So Krishna held his neck as if afraid, but by this he showed action of human child. Verse 28. Gala grahanaha nischeshto daito niragatta lochana avyakta ravo nyapatata saha balo vyaso braje. With Krishna grasping him by throat, Trinavat choked, unable to make even a sound or even to move his hands and legs. His eyes popping out, the demon lost his life and fell down with a little baby down to the ground of Vraj. When we go to the Gokul, there is a stone on the path going to the palace of Nanda Maharaj. They say Trinavat came back and fell here. Trinavat Udhar Istal. Because of being grasped by the throat, the demon could not move. He could not even flail with hand and feet. Okay, same thing. Are famous for being strong, but a fool for engaging in action for which he was not qualified or capable. Sa balaha. The demon fell on his neck with all his limbs spread out. Previously, Putna had frightened the people of Vraj by her loud wailing while she flailed her feet. This did not happen now with this demon. He died in the sky by being choked. The truth is that Krishna allowed Trinavat to take him away so he could go up in the sky. Verse 29. While the gopis who had gathered were crying for Krishna, the demon fell from the sky onto the big slab of stone. His limbs dislocated as if he had been pierced by the arrow of Lord Shiva, like Tirupurasura. Okay, Tirupurasura story. Anybody can tell me where is this story? Today who will answer this question will be the man of a day or lady of a day. Where is this story? What is the word here?
Tripurasur.
Tripurasur. Yeah. Which canto first? Which canto? Is it is in Bhagavatam?
Yes.
7th canto.
That is right. Ekanta is right. 7th canto.
He built the 3 peaks, which one is gold, one is silver, and one is
Right. Who made all these 3 aeroplanes? Puris?
Tripur.
No, who? Maya Danav. Maya Danav is right. Right. And how Krishna cheated? How Tripura Asur was cheated?
They made the well of the nectar, and all the demigods became revived. And
Who drank the nectar? How?
calf.
Huh?
The Lord and
Brahma
Brahma.
and Krishna's cow and calf.
Calf. Brahma become calf and Vishnu become the cow, and they drank the whole nectar, right? And then Krishna appeared before the Lord Shiva and gave him bows, arrows, and everything, and then with that arrow he finished the Tripasur. Therefore, the one name of Lord Shankar is
Tripurari.
Tirupurari. Tirupurari. Ari means enemy of Tirupurasur. Okay? Just revision. In a transcendental life, as soon as the devotee of the Lord merge in lamentation, they immediately experience the Lord's transcendental activities and merge in transcendental bliss. Actually, such devotees are always in transcendental bliss, and such apparent calamities provide a further impetus for that bliss. Can somebody understand this purport?
We feel Lord's transcendental happiness and bliss when we are lamenting in separation or in distress.
This is Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Prabhu.
On-
In which ways it is Ananda only which is increasing?
Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Anand Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. Now see, the first word is in transcendental life. It means one who is at the transcendental platform. As soon as devotee of the Lord merge in lamentation because of some separation from Lord or some problem, they immediately experience the Lord's transcendental activities and merge in transcendental bliss. So immediately Lord show them some activity, and by that they again experience the bliss. Actually, such devotees are always in transcendental bliss, and such apparent calamities provide a further impetus for that bliss. Impetus is called, what is the impetus is called in a bliss, in a rasa shastra?
Is it Udipan?
Utiya.
Udiban, Alamban, these some of these words which are in the nectar of devotion after the 19th chapter. Impetus, Anubhava. Let's see what is Chakravarti Pad is writing. No, not. He arranged to fall from the sky in a stone area near the house, so that cow would not make mud with the trampling of their hooves, being frightened by the falling demon. There was nothing else in the stone area. Putna, on the other hand, had cursed trees. All his limbs were broken, though his limbs were very tough. Karalam. An example of falling lifeless from the sky is given. He was like a broken city pierced by Shiva's arrow. So he died in the sky, therefore this example is given. The woman accompanying Yashoda saw this, or all women coming together and weeping saw this, or they all saw the dead demon simultaneously. Because as women with soft prem, their hearts are attached to Krishna with a special natural affection. He had the demon fall near the woman so that they could see it, because he wanted to extinguish their grief quickly, since they were lamenting intensely. Now these are the lines Prabhupada has taken in the purport. Can you see? Who was lamenting and what activity Krishna showed them, then they become jubilant. So all these things are just to increase the ocean of bliss for the devotees. Can we read this Anand Vrindavan Champu? When Yashoda could not find her son after cessation of storm, her heart turned into the desert of lamentation. At that time, she lost all passion and unconsciousness personified appear as her only companion. Feeling helpless and overwhelmed, Mother Yashoda collapsed on the earth. Though suffering immensely, Yashoda's faint breathing indicated that she still lived. Understanding her intense pain of lamentation, the Brajavasis tried to revive Yashoda by sprinkling water on her face and speaking comforting words. They said, "O pious and learned lady, the extent of your good fortune is unlimited. Your son gives happiness to the eyes of everyone. The honey sweet lilling of Krishna Kumar continually increases our attachment to him. Due to your purity, your son is still alive. O king and queen of the Vrindavan, now we realize that all your fortune and prestige is caused by your illustrious son, Ma Yashoda. Although you are apprehensive about your son's safety, you can give up your distress, for illusion has left our village. Do not let your mind burn any longer. Lift up your son and rejoice." Thus reassured, Yashoda regained consciousness, but she was still in anxiety. She said, "Just a few minutes ago, I could not tolerate the weight of my son, so I put him down, and then that demon captured him. Can you explain how a tiny baby can suddenly become so heavy that even his mother cannot carry him? I guess this must be due to my bad luck. Alas, how could my son, who is as soft as butter, cannot even tolerate the pain of my lap, endure the tremendous pain generated by that demon who attacked Vrindavan with a shower of grass, high winds and pieces of bricks. Previously, Providence protected my son from poisonous breast of Putana, the falling cart demon. Now I pray to him, always protect my beloved son. Alas, I got my son back because of Lord's protection. From now, I will never take him off my lap and put him on the ground. Quickly help me find my son. Where is he? Has the wind demon snatched him and carried him away? As long as I live, I will never again leave him outside alone." Saying this, Yashoda fell down unconscious. Sympathizing with the plight of Yashoda, the elderly gopis again tried to pacify her. Due to the burning fire of lamentation, Yashoda's lotus face looked morose and took on the hue of red color. Her sadness submerged the Brajavasis in an ocean of distress. On the outskirts of village, where he had previously played upon the breast of Putana, Krishna Kumar triumphed over his enemy by smashing him on the earth. This location brought success, as the victory is assured for one choosing a favorable constellation before fighting. While vanquishing that demon, Krishna, the greatest of all relishers, looked like a blossoming aparajita flower amidst the garden of thorns, or a blue lotus rising above a lake choked with tall reeds, or a small shining lamp atop a dense cloud darkness. Krishna stood as an embodiment of transcendental knowledge amidst an ocean of ignorance. He resembled the river of nectar flowing in the desert, or a flower personified built atop a tree of misery. Ha ha ha. So poetical everything. Last verse of this section. The gopis immediately picked Krishna up from the chest of the demon and delivered him, free from all inauspiciousness, to Mother Yashoda. The gopis immediately picked Krishna up from the chest of the demon and delivered him, free from all inauspiciousness, to Mother Yashoda. Because child, although taken into the sky by a demon, was unhurt, and now free from all danger and misfortune, the gopis and coward men headed by Nanda Maharaj were extremely happy. The demon fell flat from the sky, and Krishna was playing on his chest very happily, uninjured and free from misfortune, not at all disturbed because of being taken high in the sky by the demon. Krishna was playing and enjoying. This is Anand Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. So almost couple verses Prabhupada is using this Anand Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. It means he is only for enjoyment. So this may be some question on this word. In any condition, Krishna is such an Anand Vigraha. He has no unhappiness. Other might have thought that he was in difficulty, but because the demon's chest was sufficiently broad to play on, the baby was happy in all respect. It was most astonishing that although the demon went so high in the sky, the child did not fall down. Therefore, the child had been saved virtually from the mouth of death. Now that he was saved, all inhabitants of Vrindavan were happy. The Gopas and Gopis picked up Krishna, who was clenching the chest of the demon, gave him to Yashoda. They were astonished to see how the demon had fallen on his back on a stone slab, and that Krishna was unhappy, unharmed, playing on his chest. Though Krishna was taken by the demon high into the sky, he was miraculously saved from the mouth of death. The action of the woman who saw Krishna at this time is described. He was hanging on the demon's chest, since he had his hands around his neck. Because of their strong agitation in the beginning, they later felt great wonder. They were astonished by Yashoda's great fortune in attaining unattainable Krishna on the demon's chest. Later they put the dead body in the Jamuna. The child was most fortunate because he had been taken by the man-eater into the sky to some unseen place and had been freed from the mouth of that deathly demon who became happy with Krishna as his food. He was freed in a special way, for he had not injuries. Or Krishna had attained a state like death because of being taken high in the air. And then he was freed from that condition. But he was healthy, not at all transformed by the touch of the demon, attaining the child in the healthy state. They all become extremely joyful. The gopis are mentioned first because they become more joyful than others due to their great affection for Krishna, and because they had arrived first. The cowards, of course, were joyful having attained him again. After escaping from Putana and after being born, he was as if born again. Oh, here there must be some pastime. The weeping gopis saw infant, okay. Now gopis said, Yashoda, you have no right to embrace this child. You have no kindness. Your own words show how cruel you are. In that blinding darkness, who took an infant from their lap and abandoned? If you were so merciful, then in that terrifying moment you placed your own infant boy on the ground. So Yashoda said, how did my child become as heavy as king of the mountain? I don't know. Anyway, the infant Krishna was returned to the gopis. The gopis headed by Nanda, Gopas headed by Nanda, are very, very happy. Okay. Next. Narada Vacha. Then many learned Brahman came to Nanda's palace, and Nanda Yashoda worshipped them and gave them seats. Brahmans were given charity and everything. Then Brahman did again the protection mantras. What pious deed did Trinavarta perform in his previous life that he merged into Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Narada said, he was a Sahasraksha, it means 100 eyes, powerful king of Pandu Desh. He was devotee of Lord Hari, a follower of religion, a performer of yajna, and a giver of charity. On the shore of the river Reva, in a very splendid place filled with flowering vines, he enjoyed pastime with 1,000 beautiful women. When Durvasa Muni came there, the king did not bow down to offer respect to him. Then the sage cursed him, "O evil-hearted one, become a demon." When the king fell at his feet, the sage gave a blessing. "O king, the touch of Krishna's form will give you liberation." Now said, because of Durvasa's curse, this king of Pandya Desh became Trinavarta on the earth, and by the touch of Sri Krishna's form, he attained liberation. Now verse number 31 to 33, response of Nanda Maharaj and other Brajvasis. Response means after his return from safe from the sky, Trinavarta was dead, so how they felt. It is most astonishing that although the innocent child was taken away by Rakshasas to be eaten, he was returned without having been killed or even injured. Because this demon was envious, cruel and sinful, he has been killed for his own sinful activities. This is the law of nature. An innocent devotee is always protected by Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a sinful person is always vanquished for his sinful life. Krishna conscious life means innocent devotional life. Wonderful statement. Krishna conscious life means innocent devotional life. And a sadhu is one who is fully devoted to Krishna. As confirmed by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, bhajate mam ananya bhak, sadhur ev samantavya. Anyone fully attached to Krishna is a sadhu. Nanda Maharaj and gopis and other coward men could not understand that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, playing as a human child, and that his life was not in danger under any circumstances. Rather, because of their intense parental love for Krishna, they thought that Krishna was an innocent child and had been saved by the Supreme Lord. In this material world, because of the intense lust and desire for enjoyment, one becomes implicated in sinful life more and more. Kamesha Krodesha. Therefore, the quality of fear is one of the aspects of material life. Ahar Nidra Bhaya Maithunyacha. But if one becomes Krishna conscious, the process of devotional service, Shravanam Kirtanam, diminishes one's polluted life of material existence, and one is purified, protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shranavatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sarvana Kirtana. In devotional life, one has faith in this process. Such faith is one of the 6 kinds of surrender. Rakshasa iti Vishwasa, Hari Bhakti Vilas. One of the process of surrender is that one should simply depend upon Krishna, convinced that he will give one all protection. That Krishna will protect his devotees is a fact. And Nanda Maharaj and the other inhabitants of Vrindavan accepted this very simply. Although they did not know the Supreme Lord himself was present before them. There have been many instances in which the devotees like Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruv Maharaj has been put in difficulty even by his father, but has been saved under all circumstances. Therefore, our only business is to become Krishna conscious and depend fully on Krishna for all protection and become simple. Krishna was only a small, delicate child, yet he clearly manifested an enormous power to kill such a great demon. This, however, did not decrease the affection of Nanda Maharaj and others. Rather, it increased it. This idea is expressed in 3 verses. Ati adhbhutam esha. Krishna's fate was most astonishing of all possible astonishing things. This was so because baby Krishna almost became annihilated. The word marma, which means death, is not used because of its inauspicious connotation. Though Krishna neared death, he again returned to his friends. One of Krishna's friends remarked, "But what is so astonishing? The cruel demon was destroyed because of his sin of stealing an innocent child. Though Krishna is only a child, he's saintly because he regards enemies and friends equal. Samantena. And thus he was saved from the danger." The devotee is freed from fear. In joy, they speak to each other, unaware of Krishna's powers as the Lord, so that their affection for him would increase. They speak with astonishment or joy. It is astonishing that the tender child could not be harmed by demon at all, though he was taken away. Okay. Verse 32. Kim nastapaschiranam adhokshajarachanam purte ishtadatam uttabhuta soirdam yata sampreta punar eva balako drishtaya swabandhum pranayan upastita. Nanda Maharaj and others said, "We must previously have performed austerities for a very long time, worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, perform pious activities for public life, constructing public roads, wells, and also given charity, as a result of which this boy, although faced with death, was returned to give happiness to his relatives." Nanda Maharaj confirmed that by pious activities one can become sadhu, so that one will be happy at home and one's children will be protected. In shastra, there are many injunctions for karmis and gyanis, especially for karmis, by which they can become pious and happy even in material life. According to the Vedic civilization, one should perform activities for the benefit of public, such as constructing public road, planting trees on both sides of the road so that people can walk in the shade, and constructing public wells so that everyone can take water without difficulty. One should perform austerity to control one's desires, and one must simultaneously worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus one becomes pious, and as a result one is happy even in material conditioned life. Nanda Maharaj and others began to speak. If anything inauspicious had happened to the Krishna, we all would have died. That Krishna is unharmed is a result of heaps of pious activities. Thus they spoke this verse. How much austerities that must have done, how much worship of Lord, how much help to other living entities, how many auspicious works such as sacrifice and constructing well and canal. Because of these good deeds, Krishna has returned from death. So charity has to be done. Best public work is make them chant Hare Krishna. Again, out of joy, they consider the good fortune because the item were offered to the Lord. They were produced bhakti, it is said. Sai vai punsambaro bhakto yato vadokhaje. It's a common verse. Tapas refers to the harsh austerities. Vapi, Kupa, these are the public work. Purta refer to the building canal, well, pond, temple, gardens, as well as giving food. Ishta refer to fire sacrifice. Austerities, study of Vedas, receiving guests and worshipping of Vishwadeva. Datta refer to the protecting those who surrender. Non-violence and giving charity, which is not connected with sacrifices. Or the meaning can be that all these items become devotional acts. For instance, tapas refer to Ekadashi, fasting, and purta refers to those actions of building ponds or temples for the Lord, as if he has again come back from the death, giving life to his relatives. Okay, last verse 33. Drishtva adhbhutani bahusho nanda gopah brahadavane vasudeva vacho bhuyo manyama asa vishmitaha. Having seen all these incidents in Vrindavan, which means Mahavan, Nanda Maharaj became more and more astonished, and he remembered the verses spoken to him by Vasudeva in Mathura. A general description of everyone's great affection for Lord has been given. This verse shows Nanda's increased affection because of the worry for his son in trying to determine the cause of the disturbances. Nanda saw the many remarkable incidents at Mahavan. There were many remarkable incidents in the Lord's pastime. Here, famous with the people of Mathura, such as the defeat of the false Brahman called Sridhar. But Sukadev did not mention them because Parikshit has little time left. This place called Mahavan was a place of great disturbance. The word Nandagop suggests that he was the protector of the earth and giver of bliss to the virgin. The words of the Vasudeva were as follows. So Vasudeva said, since you have paid car, go quickly. Verse 34 to 37, Mother Yashoda saw the universe in the mouth of baby Krishna. Now completely different pastime. So we are going to this pastime. Anybody has any question or comment?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add that in this verse we read about building roads and wells and things like that. Srila Prabhupada, once I read, he said that we should honestly pay our taxes that will distribute the money across all of these activities and use our resources wherever possible in Krishna consciousness. Because he said the governments are doing these philanthropic activities that people are engaged in, of feeding the poor, giving them medicine, giving them school education, giving them roads and stuff. Governments are already doing it in a perfect manner. And it is no sense for you engaging in those. That's why you engage in Krishna consciousness. And governments are not doing.
I think the Laghu Vaishnava Toshani said, all these things which karmis are doing, we can do it in a Vaishnava ways. Austerity for us is fasting for Ekadashi, and for us to build the roads or well is to build the temple and have the water supply in the temple, electricity in the temple. That's the way we can do the more larger service for the mass of the people to come there and get the peace of mind.
Yes.
All these activities can be in the devotion. They said all these things can be done with a devotional mood. Then they will become part of devotional service. This is at the level of karmis, but for the devotees, we can do the same thing also. You have some question, Radhika Devi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
In verse 32, Nand Maharaj said that
What?
this child. In verse 30, am I audible?
Verse?
Verse 32.
Okay.
Nand Maharaj said that this boy saved because our pious activities.
Okay.
So in Hindi also we say something like that. उसका अच्छा कर्म आगे आ गया तो हम बच गए. But we heard that only our karma can affect us, not others' karma can affect us. So is it true that we can be saved because of some pious activities of others?
Pious activities of the parents will protect
done by others.
Yes,
Yeah.
the parents do the pious activities, children are protected. My common answer generally when public asks a question is that some of my relatives somehow had some accident and is put in jail. Now I will go to the lawyer and imply him and get him out. Like that, the person who is now in jail cannot do anything. Somebody else has to do something to relieve him from the suffering. So similarly, if somebody is getting our pious activities, the parents' pious activities can protect their children. That's what exactly written here. And because of this, definitely we good work done by pious activities done by devotion done by the male, the husband goes to the wife. They say half like that. These are some Vedic. I think. Not I think, but these are the Vedic statements. This pious because of our pious activities, he is saved. Commonly we say it is by our good luck. Sometime we have done something good that this kim nas tapas chiranam chiranam adhokshajay archanam purteshtah datam adhbhutta suhrdam yata sampretas puna eva balako. Because of our worship of the Supreme Lord and some pious activities, Krishna is protected by the mercy of Supreme Lord. So I think, yes, you do something good, you can benefit. Otherwise, how can Brahmins call in the house and do the swastika vachan and the child is protected?
So similarly, bad activities can also affect us done by others.
Yes. When somebody does black magic on somebody, then he suffer. Then somebody do good, he can be also get some good result also.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Anybody any doubt or want to say something on this topic?
Basically, I really like this, Prabhuji. You said if somebody does, if in a family, one member of the family had performed sinful activities, in the past, yesterday or millennia ago, and the effect comes on it, everybody in the family is suffering from that impact that's having on this person. So actually, you can see that happen.
Yeah, the Pandavas did the good things, and Parikshit, when we was going on Digvijay, everywhere they were speaking about good high about Pandavas. He was very happy, and everybody was respecting him. So if our forefathers had done something good, then we will have a big respect in this world also and get benefit and many other things. And similarly, if they have done something wrong, then we will always be seen here in this world as faulty people. Yeah, this is common I think in a human civilization like that.
And also family members.
Huh?
Carry on, Prabhu. Please carry on.
Family members are interconnected by karma.
Yeah, it's ultimately it's a good karma and bad karma.
Yeah.
We say joint karma give rise to the earthquake and tsunamis, joint karma of the whole planet. So these karmas act. These are all influence of good karma or bad karma. This is something we don't know how it happens, but it happens. All the people in that flight of the Air India except one, how one was saved? It is unimaginable. What is the reason? Nobody knows.
His good fortune.
There's only some pious activity. What pious activity? Who did for him? We don't know. But how come one person, alive and just walking? Yeah, we have seen this in a life. How it happens, we don't know. This is the gahana karmano gatihi. Bhagavad Gita says the influence of the actions and the reactions are very complicated and deep. It's very difficult to understand. So verse number 34 to 37, new
Hare
So yeah, I just want to share one thing with everybody.
Yeah,
We are building this temple here, so we have developed a concept of giving tree, where we are making a tree with leaves made of small blocks with names engraved of the donors. Basically, we are saying that you create a legacy by
yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
As Prabhupada has established this movement, and millions of people are getting benefit. So many people are getting free food and all this. This is something which is, I'm saying, how much great devotional activity, devotional pious activity this is. People are getting prasad. What is their good fortune? So all these things which are for public can be done also devotionally. So verse number 34 to 37, Mother Yashoda saw the universe in the mouth of baby Krishna. Ekada arbakam adaya swankam aropya bhamini prasannotam payatam asa sthanam sneha paripulta. One day Mother Yashoda, having taken Krishna up and placed him on her lap, was feeding him milk from her breast with maternal affection. The milk was flowing from her breast and the child was drinking it. The killer of Trinavarta, Krishna, thought, having killed this demon covered by passion and ignorance. What is passion and ignorance? The Raja and Andha, darkness, who thought he was important and took me away. I shall now bewilder my own people. This is Krishna's thinking. The Leela Shakti shows the power within Krishna in order to pacify Yashoda, who had become dried up by the previous fear and worry about future disturbances. She took him from the bed, or since he was on the ground playing, and she took him in her lap. Bhamini is seen instead of Bhavini is seen instead of Bhamini. In some version, Bhavini means she was naturally endowed with all good qualities. She was submerged completely in affection for her son. Her breast was flowing profusely, parsnutam, with milk, causing her garment to become wet. Brother Vaishnav Toshni. The devotees will shine with devotion for me if I kill the demon who disturbed the universe. Thinking this, Lord killed Trinavarta, leader of Rajas and Tamas. An astonishing pastime related to this is now told. This event happened at some unspecified time, Ekda. since the Lord is independent of time, or the age could not be clearly discerned, since even in his youth he shows characteristic of childhood, and in the childhood shows characteristic of youth. She, the most excellent woman, Bhavini or Bhamini, took him from the bed, or since he was on the ground, same thing. Verse 35 and 36. O King Parishad, when the child Krishna was almost finished drinking his milk, his mother's milk, and Mother Yashoda was touching him and looking at his beautiful, brilliantly smiling face, the baby yawned, and Mother Yashoda saw in his mouth the whole sky, the higher planetary system and the earth, the luminaries in all directions, the sun, the moon, fire, air, seas, islands, mountains, rivers, forests, and all kinds of living entities, moving and non-moving. By the arrangement of Yoga Maya, Leela Shakti, Krishna's pastime with Mother Yashoda were all regarded as ordinary. So there was an opportunity for Krishna to show his mother that the whole universe is situated within him. In his small form, Krishna was kind enough to show his mother the Virat Rupa, the universal form, so that she would enjoy seeing what kind of child she had on her lap. The rivers have been mentioned here as the daughters of the mountain. Nagam tada duhitraha. Nagam means mountain, tad duhitra means daughter. It is the flowing of the river that makes the big forest possible. There are living entities everywhere, some of them moving and some of them not moving. No place is vacant. This is a special feature of God's creation. Krishna had almost completely finished drinking Yashoda's milk when Krishna yawned. Yashoda saw the entire Idam universe within his mouth, Mukhe. In another version of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Yashoda was kissing Krishna and saw the universe in his stomach. Lord Brahma makes the same point in Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 14, 16. Krishnasya chantar jatare jananya. O Lord, you exhibited universe within your abdomen before your mother Yashoda. Though Krishna was lying in her mother's lap, by his inconceivable energy, he is also the foundation of the whole universe. At the moment of Krishna yawned, he displayed the universe with all its details, and by his inconceivable energy, Yashoda saw Antariksh. These are the all word. Last verse. Not last, but the power of his form by Achintya Shakti is shown. Pita Parasya means child was almost finished drinking milk. The use of word is Janani and Sutasya indicate great affection between them. Therefore she handled him with affection, Lalyanti. This pastime of having universe in the belly belonged to Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who is an expansion of Krishna. At the time of destruction, at the end of Brahma's day, the universe entered in the body in the subtle form. Verse 37. Saviksha Vishwam Sahasa Rajan Sanjata Vepatu Samileha Mragashva Akshi Netre Asita Swen Simta Suvismita. When the mother Yashoda saw the whole universe within the mouth of her child, her heart began to throb, and in astonishment she wanted to close her restless eyes. Because of her pure maternal love, Mother Yashoda thought that this wonderful child playing so many tricks must have had some disease. She did not appreciate the wonders shown by her child. Rather, she wanted to close her eyes. She was expecting another danger, and therefore her eyes become restless like those of deer club. This was all the arrangement of Yogamaya. The relationship between the mother Yashoda and Krishna is one of the pure maternal love. In that love, Mother Yashoda did not very much appreciate the display of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's opulences. At the beginning of this chapter, the two extra verses sometime appears. Evam bahuni karmani gopanam samacha yoshitam nandasya gehe vivardhe kurvan Vishnu Janardana. In this way, to chastise and kill the demon, the child Krishna demonstrated many activities in the house of Nanda Maharaj. And in Abhina Virja enjoyed these incidents, evam sa vivardhe, next verse. To increase the transcendental pleasure of the Gopas and Gopis, Krishna, the killer of all demons, was thus raised by his father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda. Shripada Vijay Dhwaja Tirath also adds another verse after third verse in this chapter. Parikshit Maharaj then requested Sukdev Goswami to continue speaking such narration about the pastime of Krishna so that Krishna could enjoy from them, king could enjoy from them transcendental bliss. Chakravarti Pad writes, suddenly or at the same time, Yashoda became trembling out of fear. She closed her eyes in order to meditate on Vishnu. Oh Lord, please protect my child from this disturbance. Yashoda is described as having deer-like eyes because she glanced around like a frightened deer. In this way, Krishna's display of power in killing the demons did not diminish the prema of his intimate devotees like Mother Yashoda. Rather, due to the appearance of the anxiety, their ocean of prema increased. Brajbasis believed that Krishna was saved because of the abundant pious activities of Nanda and Gopas. In this case, however, Krishna simply displayed his power, Aishwarya Shakti, without cause, not because of demons. Thoroughly surprised, Yashoda thought only this: what has happened to my child? Yashoda's affection did not decrease by thinking of Krishna as Supreme Lord. Yashoda did not need to find a cause for that what happened. The cause of her disturbance was deep prem alone. This fixed quality of prem is continuously glorified. Thus it is described as follows. The energy of the Supreme Lord occasionally appeared to test Yashoda, but she made that energy a servant of her prem. Prema devya parikaratham parikshartham. It should be parikshartham. There are no marks. Parikshartham agachantya anantara shakti esha hare kintu tayasa dasi kirta bhaveta. Sometimes the energies are coming to astonish Yashoda, but they become the servant of Yashoda because servant of the love of Yashoda. That's what is said here. She directly saw the universe. She saw the complete universe with its causes. This is not directly mentioned but understood from the future vision of the universe, where it is mentioned that she also saw the transformation of the Ankar in 10:8:37-38. She began trembling because of the great astonishment or fear of calamity. She closed her eyes so that she would not see it. This means that she saw universe and with her external eyes. She did not attend some special eyes to see this. Her vision arose from the Shakti acting as a servant, which existed within Yashoda because of her wealth of bliss arising from Krishna Prem. It is inferred from closing eyes that she did not care for this vision. It is said in Narada Pancharatra, Hari Bhakti Mahadevya Sarva Muktya Adi Siddhya Bhuktyasya cha Bhuktas Tasyas Chetika Tad Anuvartaha. All type of astonishing liberation siddhis and material enjoyment act as the ignorant maid servant of great goddess Bhakti. Thus, this Shakti, reaching success of her servitude on the occasion of Lord's pastime by making her appearance, becomes present to give joy to her mistress Bhakti, and Yashoda by creating astonishment. But the phrase Mragsha Akshi with a fawn-like eyes indicate that Yashoda's eyes were beautiful with joy, glowing because of her astonishment caused by her motherly affection for Krishna. Sanatana Goswami writes, she was different from Arjuna, who needed Divya Chakshu to see the universal form. It was impossible for Arjuna to see the universe in the Lord by various means, according to the Lord's words. But Yashoda, because of her great affection, saw that form with her two eyes. This form was within his stomach, since the universe is actually within the Lord. At creation, the lotus of the universe emerges from the Lord's navel. This also indicates that Krishna is not different from Narayan, or seeing the universe inside Lord indicate internal vision. Only by that vision one can see Lord. But by the greater bliss of seeing Krishna externally, with his beauty and insignificance of universal form is understood. Mrigyakshi, Yashoda was fawn-like, indicate the mother was suitable for the Lord with beautiful lotus eyes. Thus she could see this form. She was astonished. What is this? What I see? Why am I seeing it? But knowledge of the Krishna as Lord, which abstract affection did not arise in her. Astonishment will not arise on seeing this in the Lord, since one knows it possible for him. When she realized that her son had some natural astonishing powers, immediately her affection increases, destroying doubts about the death of Putna, destruction of the cord and fall of Trinavat. Or she thought, I am falling into illusion, for I have seen this in my son. She smiled exceptionally. So Vismitaha, thinking of her delusions, she laughed at herself. O King Rajan, everything is revealed to you. You understand the truth, though others do not. The truth is this. She closed her eyes to rid herself of vision of universe, which obstructed his bliss of seeing the Lord directly as Krishna. There is a vision of something else, though Krishna is directly present. Thinking of the strength of illusion, she trembled in fear and was astonished. The conclusion is here written according to my taste, though many conclusions manifest by the mercy of Krishna. Sanatana Goswami ends, and here our chapter ends. Chapter 8, Krishna shows Virat Roop in his mouth. Again, next chapter. I think we can start it tomorrow. Today I had a one class, 2:30 to 4:30, and then this two classes together is too much. So I think still we are one class behind, right?
I think we won't remain much behind. There are 6 classes scheduled for next chapter, and about 53 verses only. I think it will not be difficult for us to cover in those 6 classes.
Yeah, I think I have a time. I am now in Vrindavan. The morning class is 11, so 1 o'clock I come back, and evening we can continue. Krishna willing, we will finish in time.
Roji, we were supposed to today, complete up to verse 13 in chapter 8.
So we are 13 verses behind. Tomorrow, Krishna willing, it will be only 5 left. And we can go for it. It depends. If some discussion comes, it may be late. Krishna
Still
will.
we have 5 classes for chapter 8, Prabhu. There is no worry.
Chapter 8 is also interesting chapter.
Yes.
There's a name giving ceremony and everything is there.
Yes, Prabhu. It's there.
And all the childhood pastime, everything is there. 5 classes, okay, I think we will do it. Anybody has any question or comment?
Yes, Prabhuji, there is a question in the question bank, the last question. It says, how is it that there is a lamentation? Krishna's pure devotees in Braja. How is there is lamentation?
Because to increase their bliss. That is the one purport of Srila Prabhupada. I said, how you understand this? So lamentation is to increase the bliss. You go to that purport exactly with 4-line purport.
Verse 29. Verse 29 has that. In lamentation, in transcendental life, as soon as devotee of the Lord merge in lamentation, they immediately experience Lord's activity.
So lamentations are for their more bliss, for more pastime, for more hand of Krishna they relish. Without, there is anxiety. If you have anxiety for Krishna, if you want to advance in Krishna consciousness, have anxiety for Krishna. The more anxiety the devotee has, the more Krishna conscious he is. That's what I used to say. When I go in Pakistan and preach there, I am more Krishna conscious than when I'm in Vrindavan. Because there I have more anxiety and lamentation, so I am seeing always Krishna protecting. But here already I am in Vrindavan, so no problem. So there is a difference.
Thank you. It is also part of prema.
Yeah, it is to increase prema. These are some of the sanchari bhav, or these lamentation, crying, this, that. These are all sanchari bhav. There are 33 sanchari bhav. They come in the devotees just to increase the bliss or ras.
Prema is described in 2 parts as sambhoga and vibhoga. So when there is no association, like Yashoda could not see Krishna, so that is lamentation, but that lamentation is actually effect of prema, and it is in vibhoga. It is not seeing him, so it increases the prema.
Yeah, this is a vipralamba is a prema, but this word lamentation, these are the actually sanchari bhav. You go and read the 33 or 30, I think how much, 33, 34 sanchari bhav. One of them will be lamentation. Go and see there. And then the next of devotion, find out in sanchari bhav, these are all these things. They are to increase the mellows.
And Prabhu, one comment, I may stand corrected, is that here we see that the Lord's Aishwarya Shakti is unable to influence Jashoda in any way. I think the pastime in this section is showing how Yashoda Maya is unmoved by any of his Aishwarya, and he tries and he tries and he tries, and then it concludes in this section where Yashoda sees Krishna as an ordinary child, Harim Samanya Atmajo. So it's like Krishna is testing Jashoda. Oh, maybe you have some Aishwarya thing with me. Maybe you do, maybe you do. So he's pushing him. He's pushing her. And in a way,
actually, the conclusion is that the Vishwarup, which everybody is trying to see, Yashoda don't want to see, because it is hindering the vision of sweet Krishna. So all opulence are not important for the pure devotees. The sweetness of the Krishna is more important. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. See you tomorrow, Krishna willing. Hari Bol.
Recording stopped.